world is quiet. The sun has only just begun to crest over the rolling green hills outside, painting the sky in hues of soft lavender and pale gold. But here, underground, deep within the earth, it is dark, and it is warm. You are lying in your bed. It is a soft bed, piled high with thick, downy quilts that seem to hug you, pressing gently against your body with a comforting weight. You are safe here, tucked away in your home beneath the hill. There is no urgency today. There are no quests to embark upon, no dragons to face, no mountains to climb. Today is for the earth. Today is for the soil. Today is for the garden. Take a slow, deep breath, inhaling the scent of your room. It smells of dried lavender bundles hanging from the ceiling rafters. It smells of old oak wood and beeswax polish. It is the smell of home. You shift slightly beneath the covers. The sheets are made of heavy linen, cool against your skin but warming quickly where you rest. You stretch your legs, feeling the muscles lengthen, pushing your toes toward the bottom of the bed. You let out a long, contented sigh. Slowly, you decide it is time to greet the morning. There is no rush. You pull the quilt back, the fabric rustling softly like dry leaves. You sit up on the edge of the bed. Your feet find the floorboards. They are smooth, polished wood, worn soft by years of walking. They are cool, but not cold. You reach for your robe hanging on the bedpost. It is made of thick, knitted wool, dyed a deep forest green. As you slide your arms into the sleeves, it feels like a warm embrace. You tie the sash around your waist, feeling secure, feeling ready. You slide your feet into your slippers, sheepskin lined with fleece. Every step you take is cushioned. You pad softly across the room to the round window. You unlatch the brass hook. It makes a solid, satisfying click, and push the round window open. The morning air drifts in. It is crisp. It smells of wet grass, damp earth, and the faint, sweet scent of distant chimney smoke. You lean out just a little. The Shire is waking up. A low mist clings to the valley floor, hugging the roots of the great oak trees. Everything is green, 1,000 shades of green. The bright lime of the new grass, the deep emerald of the ivy climbing your stone fence, the dark olive of the distant woods. It is going to be a beautiful day for gardening. But first, breakfast. You turn away from the window and walk slowly down the hallway. The hallway is a tunnel, but it is not cramped. It is cozy. The walls are paneled in warm wood, glowing in the soft light of the lanterns you lit last night. The ceiling is arched, curving over your head like a protective shell. You run your hand along the wall as you walk. You can feel the grain of the wood under your fingertips. Rough here, smooth there. It feels solid, permanent. You enter the kitchen. It is the heart of your home. It is a round room filled with the tools of comfort. Copper pots hang from the ceiling, gleaming in the dim light. Bundles of dried herbs, thyme, sage, rosemary, hang near the stove, waiting to be used. You walk to the stove. It is a heavy iron wood stove, still holding the heat from yesterday. You open the small iron door. The embers inside are glowing a dull, sleepy red. You pick up a piece of dried apple wood from the basket. The bark is rough in your hand. You place it gently onto the embers. You watch. You wait. Slowly the wood catches. A small yellow flame licks up the side of the log. Then another. The fire begins to crackle, a sharp, comforting pop and hiss. The warmth radiates out, brushing against your shins. You pick up the kettle. It is heavy, made of battered copper that has boiled water for 1,000 mornings. You walk to the sink and pump the handle. The water flows out clear and cold, straight from the deep earth springs. You fill the kettle, listening to the pitch of the water change as the vessel fills up. Glug, glug, glug. You place the kettle on the stove, and now you prepare the tea. You walk to the pantry. The pantry is a room of wonders. It is lined with shelves from floor to ceiling, every inch packed with jars, bottles, and sacks. You scan the shelves. There is a jar of raspberry jam, the glass thick and dusty. There is a sack of flour tied with a rough twine string. There are wheels of yellow cheese wrapped in wax. But you are looking for the tea. You find the tin canister on the second shelf. It is painted green with gold lettering. You pry the lid off. The scent hits you immediately. Earthy, rich, with a hint of malt. It is a strong blend, perfect for a day of working in the dirt. You take a ceramic teapot from the table. It is round and stout, glazed in a creamy white with blue flowers painted on the side. You measure out the tea leaves. 1 spoon, 2 spoons, 3. You can hear the dry leaves rustling as they fall into the pot. The kettle begins to sing, first a low hum, then a steady whistle. You lift the kettle with a thick cloth to protect your hand. You pour the boiling water into the teapot. Steam billows up, warm and moist against your face. You place the lid on the pot and cover it with a tea cozy, a knitted wool cover that looks like a little hat. You will let it steep. You will let time do the work. While the tea steeps, you prepare a simple meal. You cut a slice of bread from a loaf baked yesterday. The crust is thick and hard, resisting the knife, but the inside is soft and springy. You place the bread on a metal fork and hold it near the fire. You watch as the white bread turns golden. You can smell the yeast, the warmth of the grain. You butter the toast while it is still hot. The butter melts instantly, soaking into the holes of the bread, turning it a rich, shiny yellow. You take your plate and your cup to the table. You pour the tea. It is a dark amber color, swirling with heat. You add a splash of milk, watching the dark clouds of tea turn into a creamy tan. You sit. The chair creaks comfortably under your weight. The kitchen is silent except for the crackle of the fire and the chirp of a bird outside. You take a sip of tea. It is hot, strong, and grounding. It warms your chest, spreading heat all the way to your fingertips. You eat your toast. You listen to the silence. You look out the window at your garden. The garden is waiting for you. You can see the rows of turned earth through the round glass. You can see the vines of the giant pumpkins, the leaves as big as dinner plates. You can see the trellis where the runner beans climb, reaching for the sky. It is a good garden. It requires work, but it is good work, honest work. You finish your tea, draining the last drop. You set the cup down with a soft clink. You stand up. You stretch your arms over your head, reaching for the ceiling beams. It is time to dress for the soil. You go to the mudroom by the back door. This is where the outside meets the inside. You take off your soft slippers and set them aside. You reach for your gardening socks, thick gray wool, knitted by your grandmother. You pull them on. They are scratchy, but in a good way. They are durable. Next, the trousers. They are made of brown corduroy, tough and thick to protect your knees from the stones and the damp earth. You button them up, feeling the sturdy fabric settle around your waist. Then the shirt, a loose linen shirt, faded to a soft oatmeal color by years of sun and washing. You roll the sleeves up past your elbows. Your forearms are ready for the dirt. And finally, the suspenders. Leather straps that cross over your shoulders, holding everything in place. You snap them onto your trousers. Snap, snap. You sit on the wooden bench to put on your boots. These are your most prized possession. Brown leather, worn soft and supple, creased at the toes where your feet bend. They are stained with the mud of 100 harvests. You slide your feet in. You lace them up. You pull the laces tight, feeling the leather hug your ankles. You tie a double knot. You stamp your feet on the floor. Solid. You stand up. You grab your wide-brimmed straw hat from the peg. You place it on your head. You open the back door. The round door swings outward on heavy iron hinges. The air rushes in, cooler than the kitchen, carrying the scent of damp soil and green leaves. You step out. Your boots crunch onto the gravel path. You're in the garden now. The sun is higher, filtering through the leaves of the old apple tree in the corner, casting dappled shadows on the grass. The garden is enclosed by a low stone wall, covered in soft velvety moss. Inside this wall is your kingdom. To your left, the vegetable patch, rows of dark, rich earth. To your right, the herb garden, a chaotic tumble of green and purple. In the center, the tool shed. You walk to the shed. It is a small wooden structure, barely taller than you. You unlatch the door. Inside, it smells of iron and oil and dry wood. You look at your tools hanging on the wall. The spade, the rake, the hoe, the trowel. You reach for the spade. The handle is made of ash wood, smooth as silk from years of your grip. The metal blade is clean and sharp. You weigh it in your hands. It feels balanced. It feels like an extension of your own arm. You pick up a wooden trug, a shallow basket for carrying weeds and vegetables. You hook it over your arm. You step back out into the light. You take a deep breath, filling your lungs with the fresh morning air. The day lies ahead of you, slow, steady, peaceful. You walk toward the first bed of soil. The carrots need thinning, the beans need water, the earth needs turning. You step off the gravel path and onto the soil. Your boots sink slightly into the soft earth. You feel grounded. You feel connected. You are ready to begin. You are standing at the edge of the planting bed. It is a long, rectangular patch of earth, bordered by smooth river stones that you collected yourself from the banks of the Brandywine. The soil here is dark. It is darker than the night sky, rich and heavy with nutrients. It has rested all winter under a blanket of mulch, sleeping, waiting for this moment. You grip the handle of your spade. The wood is warm from your hands, but the air around you is still cool. You position the tip of the metal blade against the surface of the soil. You place your left foot on the shoulder of the spade. You press down. Crunch. The sound is crisp. The metal slices through the top crust of the earth with a satisfying resistance. It is a sound of opening. You push down harder, using your weight, feeling the blade sink deep, all the way to the hilt. You feel the vibration of the cut travel up the wooden handle and into your palms. You lean back, levering the handle. The earth groans softly as it separates. A heavy block of soil lifts up. It is dense. It is damp. You turn your wrist, flipping the spade. The block of soil tumbles upside down, breaking apart as it hits the ground. Thud. It crumbles into soft, dark clods. This is the rhythm of the morning. Step, push, lift, turn. Step, push, lift, turn. You are not rushing. You are not trying to finish. You are simply digging. You watch the soil as you turn it. It is beautiful. It is the color of dark chocolate, char coffee. It smells of deep, ancient forests. It smells of rain that fell 100 years ago, trapped in the humus. It is a clean smell, a heavy smell. As you break a large clod with the edge of your spade, you see movement. A large earthworm, pink and thick, wriggles in the sunlight. It is a guardian of the garden. In the Shire, we treat the worms with respect. They are the true tillers of the earth. You pause. You wait for it to burrow back down into the safety of the dark. You watch until the tip of its tail disappears. Safe. You continue down the row. Your breathing settles into a steady cadence, matching the swing of the spade. In, out, dig, turn. Your muscles begin to warm. You can feel the heat generating in your shoulders, in your lower back. It is a good heat. The stiffness of sleep is melting away. You're becoming loose. You're becoming strong. You reach the end of the row. You stop. You lean on your spade, resting your chin on your hands, looking back at your work. The strip of earth is now dark and chaotic, a line of freshly turned potential. Now you must refine it. You walk back to the shed, slow, heavy steps in your boots, and exchange the spade for the rake. The rake is lighter. The teeth are iron, rusted slightly, but strong. You return to the bed. You begin to comb the soil. Scrape, scrape, scrape. The sound is different now. It is scratchier, lighter. You pull the rake towards you, catching the large stones and the clumps of old roots. You smooth the surface. You're like an artist preparing a canvas. You push the soil back and forth until it is level, until it is fine, until it looks like a soft, dark velvet blanket spread out on the ground. You bend down. You take off one of your gloves. You place your bare hand on the soil. It is cool. It is damp. You grab a handful and squeeze. It holds its shape for a moment, a perfect ball of earth, and then, with a gentle brush of your thumb, it crumbles away. It is perfect, friable, loamy. It is time to plant. You reach into the deep pocket of your corduroy trousers. You pull out a small paper packet. The paper is crinkled, stained slightly with tea. On the front, written in your own careful, looping handwriting, are the words, Moon Phase Pumpkins. These are not ordinary pumpkins. These are the pride of the Shire. They grow not just with the sun, but with the light of the moon. They will grow large, so large that you will need a cart to move them. But for now, they are just seeds. You open the packet. You tip it gently into your palm. The seeds slide out. They are large, creamy white, and smooth as polished river stones. They feel cool and dry in your hand. You count them. 6 seeds, 6 potential giants. You kneel down on the grass beside the bed. You do not mind the dampness seeping into the knees of your trousers. You are close to the work now. You use your finger, your index finger, to make a hole in the soft soil. You press down. 1 inch, 2 inches. The soil parts easily, embracing your finger. You pull it back, leaving a perfect, small, dark tunnel. You take the first seed. You hold it between your thumb and forefinger. You place it gently into the hole. You whisper a quiet word to it, a word of encouragement. Grow. You cover the seed with the loose soil. You pat it down. Pat, pat. A gentle tucking in, like pulling a blanket up to a chin. You move 2 feet down the row. You measure the distance with your forearm. From elbow to wrist, that is the spacing. Precision, tradition. You make the second hole. You place the second seed. You cover it. You make the third hole. You place the third seed. You cover it. The repetition is soothing. It requires focus, but not thought. Your mind is empty of worry. There is only the seed. There is only the soil. When all 6 seeds are planted, you stand up. You brush the dirt from your knees. You look at the row. It looks no different than it did 10 minutes ago. But you know that beneath that dark surface, life has begun. But the garden is not just pumpkins. You move to the trellis on the sunny side of the wall. This is where the beans go. You reach into your other pocket. You pull out a handful of scarlet runner beans. They are beautiful, mottled purple, and black, like little jewels. You do not need to dig for these. You simply push them in. You walk along the base of the bamboo poles you set up yesterday. Push, cover, push, cover, push, cover. You can almost hear them humming. The soil here is old, mixed with the ash from the pipeweed fires of your grandfather. It is full of magic. You know that by tomorrow morning the green shoots will already be poking through. You know that by next week the vines will be spiraling up the poles, gripping tight, climbing toward the sun. But for now, they are resting. You stand back. The sun is higher now. It has cleared the tops of the trees. The light is turning from the pale gold of dawn to the bright warm yellow of mid-morning. You can feel the warmth on the back of your neck. It feels good. It feels like a gentle weight. You take a handkerchief from your pocket and wipe your brow. You're not sweating, not really, but there is a glow to your skin, a healthy, working glow. You look at your hands. They are dusted with soil, dark lines of dirt under your fingernails. This is the mark of the gardener. It is a badge of honor. You listen. The birds have quieted down, settling into their mid-morning routine. The wind rustles the leaves of the oak tree. Shh, shh. A bee buzzes past your ear. A low, heavy drone. It lands on a clover flower near your boot. You watch it. It is fuzzy, striped gold and black. It moves with clumsy determination. It is working just like you. The earth is turned. The seeds are sown. But the work is not done. The earth is thirsty. You turn towards the rain barrel standing by the corner of the house. It is a massive wooden barrel bound with iron hoops, catching the water from the roof. It is time to water. You stand before the rain barrel. It is a massive thing, taller than your waist, made of ancient oak staves bound together with rusted iron hoops. The wood is swollen with moisture, dark and cool to the touch. You place your hand on the rim. It is slick with a fine, velvety green moss. You lean over and look inside. The water is deep. It is perfectly still. It looks like a mirror of black obsidian holding the reflection of the sky and the branches of the apple tree above. A single leaf floats on the surface, motionless. You pick up your watering can from the grass. It is made of galvanized tin, dull gray and battered. It has a long spout and a large, round sprinkler head, the rose at the end. It is empty now, light in your hand. You dip the can into the barrel. Gloosh. The sound is deep and hollow. You push the can down, forcing it under the surface. Bubbles rise up, blub, 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 escaping from the spout as the water rushes in to fill the hollow metal belly. You hold it there for a moment, feeling the coldness of the water through the tin. You watch the water swirl, dark and clear. It is full. You lift it out. It is heavy now, remarkably heavy. The water sloshes inside, trying to escape. Splish, splash. You steady it. You're accustomed to the weight. It is a good weight. It balances you. You walk back toward the pumpkin bed. Your boots crunch softly on the gravel, a slow, measured pace. You are carrying life to the soil. You reach the patch of dark earth where you planted the seeds. You stop. You grip the handle of the can with both hands, one on the top, one on the back. You tilt the can. At first, nothing happens. Then the water travels up the long spout. And then, shh. The water bursts from the holes of the rows in a dozen tiny streams. It looks like a silver fan. It looks like rain. It hits the soil with a gentle patter. Pit-pat, pit-pat, pit-pat. You watch the transformation. As the water hits the dry, grayish surface of the dirt, it turns instantly to a rich, glossy black. The soil drinks it in greedily. You sweep the can back and forth, a slow pendulum motion. Left, right, left, right. You are painting the earth with water. The smell hits you instantly. It is the smell of petrichor, that distinct primal scent of rain hitting dry earth. It smells of dust and ozone and damp stone. It is the freshest smell in the world. You breathe it in deep. It cools your lungs. You water the pumpkin seeds. You water the runner beans. You watch the water bead up on the waxy leaves of the established plants, rolling off like liquid diamonds. When the can is empty, sputtering out the last few drops, you walk back to the barrel. Dip, fill, lift, walk, pour. You repeat this ritual 5 times. It is a meditation. There is no mind, only the water, only the arc of the silver streams glittering in the sunlight. Your shoulders ache pleasantly with the repetition. When the watering is done, the garden looks refreshed. The soil is dark and damp. The plants look perkier, standing taller in the moisture. But the sun is climbing. You look up. The sun is approaching its zenith. It hangs in the blue sky, a blazing coin of gold. The morning chill has completely vanished. The air is now thick and warm. It is the kind of warmth that settles into your bones. You wipe your forehead with your sleeve. The air is still, buzzing with the lazy energy of midday. It is time for the weeding. You walk to the flower border near the stone wall. This is where the invaders like to hide. The nettles, the bindweed, the sneaky goblin grass. You do not stand for this. You kneel. You take a thick foam pad from the shed and place it on the grass. You lower yourself down onto your knees. You are now at eye level with the plants. The world looks different down here. It is a jungle of stems and leaves. You adjust your hat to keep the sun out of your eyes. You begin to scan the ground. There, hiding amongst the marigolds, is a dandelion. It is small, trying to go unnoticed, its jagged green leaves flattened against the soil. You reach out. You do not grab it by the leaves. That is the amateur's way. The leaves will snap off, and the root will remain, laughing at you from the dark. No, you use your trowel, a small hand shovel. You press the tip of the trowel into the soil about an inch away from the weed. You push down, angling the blade underneath the plant. You loosen the earth. You can feel the soil give way. Now you reach with your hand. You pinch the base of the dandelion, right where the stem meets the root. You get a good grip, and you pull. Slowly. Squeak. You can feel the taproot sliding out of the earth. It fights you for a second, holding on with its tiny hair roots, and then pop. It comes free. You hold it up. The root is long, white, and tapered like a carrot. You have won. You have removed it entirely. There is a deep primal satisfaction in this, a problem fully solved. You toss the weed into your wooden trug. Plop. You move on. You crawl forward on your knees just a few inches. Here is some clover tangling its way around your prize petunias. Clover is easier. The roots are shallow. You weave your fingers into the mat of green and pull gently. It comes away like a rug being lifted from the floor, bringing a clump of soil with it. You shake the soil back into the bed. You toss the clover into the basket. The sun beats down on your back. It is warm, so warm. It feels like a heavy, heated blanket draped over your shoulders. The sounds of the world are slowing down. The birds have stopped singing. They are resting in the shade of the branches. The only sound is the drone of a bumblebee. Psst. It hovers near a foxglove flower. It crawls inside the purple bell, disappearing for a moment, then backs out, covered in yellow pollen. It sounds sleepy, drunk on nectar. You feel sleepy, too. The repetitive motion of weeding is hypnotic. Spot the weed. Dig, pull, toss. Spot the weed. Dig, pull, toss. Your eyes begin to feel heavy. Your eyelids droop. The smell of the crushed green stems in your basket is sharp and grassy. It is a heady scent. You find a patch of star moss. It is a weed, technically, but it sparkles slightly in the shade. You hesitate. It is pretty, but it will choke your lilies. You make the hard choice. You scrape it away with the trowel. The metal scrapes against a small stone. Scritch. You pause. You sit back on your heels, resting your hands on your thighs. You look at the pile of weeds in your basket. You have done good work. The flower bed is clean. The brown earth between the flowers is visible, neat and tidy. You take a deep breath. The air is hot and sweet, smelling of warming resin from the pine trees near the woods. A butterfly floats past your nose. It is bright blue. It flutters erratically up and down, landing on your knee for just a second. You hold your breath. Its wings open and close slowly. Then it takes flight again, drifting over the garden wall. You watch it go. Your body feels loose. Your hands are dirty, stained green and brown. Your back is warm. The sun is directly overhead now. The shadows have disappeared, hiding beneath the plants. The garden is bright, saturated with color. It is too hot to work anymore. The Shire rule is clear. When the sun is high, the hobbit rests. You stand up slowly, your knees cracking softly. You pick up the trug full of weeds. You pick up your watering can. You walk toward the compost heap in the corner of the garden, hidden behind the hazelnut bushes. You tip the weeds onto the pile. They will rot down. They will become soil again. The circle continues. You set the trug down. You dust your hands against your trousers. You look toward the apple tree in the center of the lawn. Its branches are wide, casting a pool of deep, inviting shade. The grass there looks cool. You think of your pipe. You think of a cool drink. You think of closing your eyes. It is time for the afternoon rest. You walk toward the center of the garden. There stands the old apple tree. It is the grandfather of this land. Its trunk is thick and gnarled, twisted by 100 years of storms and sunlight. The bark is gray and silver, rough with deep fissures that house tiny beetles and velvet moss. Its branches spread out wide, creating a massive canopy, a green umbrella against the midday heat. You step underneath the branches. The temperature drops instantly. It is 10 degrees cooler here in the shade. It feels like stepping into a cool pool of water. The harsh brightness of the sun is filtered out, replaced by a soft, dappled green light. Shadows dance on the grass, shifting and changing as the wind moves the leaves above. You walk to the base of the trunk. The roots of the tree snake out into the grass like the knees of an old giant. They form a perfect, natural nook, a chair made by nature, just for you. You unhook the small canvas satchel from your belt. You place it on the ground. Then you sit. You lower yourself down onto the grass between the roots. The grass here is long and cool. It bends beneath you, soft as a cushion. You lean your back against the trunk of the tree. The bark is rough, but through your shirt it feels solid, supportive. It holds you up. You stretch your legs out in front of you. You wiggle your toes inside your boots. Your legs are tired, a good tired. A heavy humming vibration in your muscles that says, you have earned this rest. You let your hands fall into your lap. You close your eyes for a moment, just listening. The wind in the leaves sounds like the ocean. Shh, swish, shh. You open your eyes. You reach for your satchel. It is time for a small sustenance. You undo the buckle. You pull out a cloth napkin, checkered red and white. You spread it on the ground beside your knee. You pull out a wedge of cheese. It is a sharp yellow cheddar, hard and crumbly. You pull out a small round loaf of bread. And finally, a knife with a wooden handle. You cut a piece of cheese. The knife slides through the dense yellow block. You place the cheese on a piece of bread. You take a bite. It is simple food, peasant food. But out here in the fresh air with the smell of the garden around you, it tastes like a feast. The cheese is salty and rich. The bread is nutty. You chew slowly. There is no rush. No one is calling your name. No letters to answer. Only the cheese. Only the bread. You look up into the branches. Hanging just above your head is a small green apple. It isn't ripe yet. It will be ready in autumn, but it looks like a jewel hanging in the dark leaves. You finish your meal. You brush the crumbs from your lap onto the grass. The ants will find them. They are welcome to the feast. Now, the ritual. You reach into your pocket and pull out your pipe. It is a beautiful thing. A long stem made of cherry wood, polished to a deep shine by the oils of your hand. The bowl is carved from briar root. You hold it in your palm, feeling its smoothness, its familiarity. You pull out your leather tobacco pouch. You loosen the drawstring. You pinch a small amount of the leaf. Old Toby, the finest in the South Farthing. It is sticky and sweet. It smells of dried figs, vanilla, and earth. You pack the bowl. You do not jam it in. You sprinkle the leaf in loosely at first, then tap it down with your thumb. Tap, tap, then a little more. Tap, tap. It must be firm, but not tight. It is an art form. You take a long wooden match from a box. You strike it against a dry stone near your boot. Scritch. Pfft. The flame flares up, bright orange. You hold it over the bowl. You draw in a breath through the stem. Puff, puff, puff. The tobacco catches. The bowl glows with a warm red cherry. A stream of blue-gray smoke rises into the air. You lean your head back against the tree. You exhale. The smoke does not just drift away. This is the Shire. The smoke has a mind of its own. As you blow the smoke out, you shape your lips slightly. A ring of gray smoke floats out. It is perfect. A solid spinning hoop. It floats lazily upward, expanding as it rises. You take another puff. You concentrate this time. You visualize the shape in your mind. You exhale slowly. The smoke swirls, coalesces, and forms a shape. It is a ship. A tiny, ghostly sailing ship made of gray mist. It has 3 masts and tiny sails that billow in the gentle breeze. It sails through the air right in front of your face. You watch it glide past the trunk of the tree, riding the invisible currents of the air. It sails up toward the leaves. As it touches a branch, it dissolves into a wisp of nothingness. You smile. The taste of the pipe is sweet and woody. The smoke hangs in the still air under the tree, creating a soft, hazy atmosphere. It smells comforting. It smells like your grandfather's house. You are so relaxed now. Your body feels like it is melting into the earth. You are heavy. You are grounded. You look past the leaves, searching for the sky. You can see patches of blue through the gaps in the canopy. You see a cloud drifting by. It is a big, fluffy white cumulus cloud. It moves so slowly you have to stare at it to see it moving at all. It looks like a sleeping bear, or maybe a mountain covered in snow. You watch it change shape. The bear loses a leg. The mountain crumbles. It becomes a castle in the sky. Your eyelids are getting heavy. They feel like they are made of lead. Blinking takes effort. Blink, open, blink, open. The droning of the bees sounds further away now, a gentle hum. The rustling of the leaves is a lullaby. Hush. You let the pipe rest in your hand on the grass. You let your head tip back slightly. You are safe here. The garden will grow without you for an hour. The pumpkins will swell in the heat. The beans will climb. The earth will turn. You drift, drift, drift. You are floating on a raft on a slow river. The sun is warm on your face. The water is cool. You are asleep. You wake slowly. There is no startle, no alarm, just a gentle surfacing from the depths of a dreamless sleep. You open your eyes. The light has changed. The bright white glare of midday is gone. The world is now bathed in the deep, rich honey gold of late afternoon. The golden hour. The light slants low under the branches of the apple tree, illuminating the dust motes dancing in the air like tiny floating stars. You stretch. Your back cracks softly, a satisfying release of tension. You rub your face with your hands. You feel refreshed. You feel renewed. The nap has done its work. You sit up. You knock the ash from your pipe onto the grass. You pack your satchel. You stand, brushing the blades of grass from your trousers. The air is cooling down. You can feel it on your skin. The heat of the day is rising up from the earth, replaced by a gentle, refreshing coolness creeping in from the east. The shadows are long now, stretching across the lawn like long fingers. It is harvest time. You pick up your wooden trug. It is empty, waiting to be filled. Tonight you will make a stew, a proper Shire stew, thick, hearty, and warm. But to make the stew, you need the ingredients. You walk toward the root vegetable patch. The soil here is mounded high. You are looking for a carrot, but in the Shire, carrots are not the thin, spindly things of the outside world. You find a patch where the feathery green tops are thick and tall, reaching up to your waist. You choose the largest bunch. The greens are lush, smelling of crushed parsley. You reach down to the base of the stems. You clear away a little soil with your fingers. You see the top of the root. It is orange, a brilliant, burning orange. It is as wide as a dinner plate. You grip the greens with both hands. You plant your feet wide. You bend your knees. You pull. The earth holds on to it tight. It does not want to let go. You pull harder, leaning your weight back. You can feel the suction of the mud. Squelch. Slowly it begins to rise, inch by inch. The orange root reveals itself. It keeps coming. It is massive. It is the size of a man's forearm, thick and heavy. With one final tug, pop, it comes free. You hold it up in the golden light. It is magnificent. It is covered in dark earth, but beneath the dirt, the skin is smooth and firm. It is heavy in your hands, dense with sweet water and sugar. Just this one carrot will be enough to feed a family of 4. But tonight, it is just for you. You place it in the trug. The wood creaks under the weight. Next, potatoes. You move to the potato hills. You do not pull these. You dig for them. You take your spade again. You plunge it into the side of the hill, being careful not to slice the tubers. You lever the soil up. It spills over the blade. And there they are, gold nuggets, buried treasure. These are butter golds. They are not round, they are lumpy and oblong, the size of your fist. The skin is thin and yellow, almost translucent. You pick them out of the dirt one by one. They are warm. The earth has kept them warm all day. You rub the dirt off one with your thumb. The skin shines. You can already imagine them boiling in the pot, turning soft and crumbling into buttery clouds. You gather 3 of them. That is plenty. You add them to the trug. Thud, thud, thud. Finally, the onions. You walk to the drying rack at the edge of the garden. You pulled these last week and left them to cure in the sun. The skins are dry and papery now, rustling like parchment. They are a deep purple, the color of a bruised plum. You grab 2 heavy onions. They feel solid, like cricket balls. You drop them in. Your trug is heavy now. You carry it with 2 hands, resting it against your hip. The weight is comforting. It is the weight of security. It is the weight of winter survival. You begin to walk back toward the house, but you stop. The pumpkin patch. You cannot harvest them yet. It is too early in the season, but you must check on them. You walk to the vines. The leaves are enormous, rough and hairy, scratching against your trousers. And there, hiding beneath the canopy of green, is a young pumpkin. It is already the size of a beach ball. It is pale green, slowly turning to orange. You kneel down next to it. You place your hand on its side. It feels cool and waxy. It sounds hollow when you tap it. Thump, thump. You can almost see it growing. You can feel the magic in it. By October, this pumpkin will be the size of a carriage. You will carve it into a lantern that will light up the entire hill. Sleep well, you whisper to it. You stand up. The sun is dipping below the horizon now. The sky is turning a deep, bruised purple. The first star has appeared, the evening star, bright and lonely in the west. The air is definitely cold now. You shiver just a little. It is time to go inside, time for fire, time for food. You walk up the gravel path. The light from your kitchen window spills out onto the grass, a warm, inviting yellow square. It looks like a beacon calling you home. You reach the round green door. You juggle the basket to one hand and turn the brass knob. Click. You push the door open. The warmth of the house rushes out to meet you. It smells of the tea you made this morning and the faint scent of old books. You step inside. You close the heavy door behind you. Thud. You slide the bolt across. Clack. The world outside, the wind, the stars, the night, is locked away. You are inside the hill again. You walk to the kitchen and heave the basket onto the heavy wooden table. Thump. You look at your harvest, the giant carrot, the golden potatoes, the purple onions. They look beautiful against the dark wood of the table. They are dirty, covered in the soil of your land. You turn to the sink. You pump the water. Sploosh. You begin to wash them. The water turns brown as the dirt washes away. The orange becomes brighter. The yellow shines. The purple gleams. You are washing away the day's work, revealing the prize beneath. You take your knife. You begin to chop. Chop, chop, chop. The sound echoes in the quiet kitchen. It is a sharp, rhythmic sound. The smell of the onion fills the air, pungent and sharp, making your eyes water just a little. The smell of the carrot, sweet and earthy. You put a heavy iron pot on the stove. You add a knob of butter. It sizzles. Hiss. You throw the vegetables in. The kitchen fills with the sound of frying. It smells like heaven. You add water. You add herbs from the bundle drying above your head, thyme and bay leaf. You put the heavy lid on the pot. Clang. Now you wait. The stew must simmer. You're tired. Your body feels loose and heavy, drained of energy but filled with satisfaction. You wash your hands, scrubbing the dirt from your fingernails. You dry them on a rough towel. You walk into the living room. You light a candle. The flame flickers, casting long, dancing shadows on the walls. You sit in your favorite armchair, a deep velvet chair that swallows you up. You listen to the pot bubbling in the kitchen. Blup, blup, blup. It is the heartbeat of the house. You close your eyes. The day is done. The harvest is in. You open your eyes. You have been dozing in the armchair, lulled by the warmth of the room. The smell in the kitchen has changed. It is no longer the sharp scent of raw onions. It has deepened. It is a rich, savory aroma that fills the entire house. It smells of slow-cooked roots, of thyme that has given up all its flavor to the broth, of comfort. The stew is ready. You push yourself up from the velvet chair. Your body feels heavy, relaxed, like a sack of warm sand. You walk slowly into the kitchen. You lift the heavy iron lid from the pot. Clang! A cloud of white steam billows up, warming your face. You look inside. The stew is thick. The giant chunks of golden potato have broken down, thickening the broth into a creamy golden gravy. The orange carrots are soft and glistening. You take a ladle from the hook. You scoop up a generous serving. The stew pours slowly into your earthenware bowl. It is a hearty sound. Slosh. You fill the bowl to the brim. You take a spoon. You tear off a chunk of the crusty bread you had this morning. You carry your meal to the small table by the fire. You sit. You are alone, but you are not lonely. You are accompanied by the shadows dancing on the walls and the warmth of the hearth. You dip your spoon into the stew. You blow on it gently. The steam curls away. You take the first bite. It is hot. It warms your mouth, your throat, your chest. The flavor is incredible, sweet from the carrots, earthy from the potatoes, savory from the onions. It tastes of the soil you turned this morning. It tastes of the sun that beat down on your back. You are eating the energy of the day. You eat slowly. There is no rush. Spoon, blow, taste, swallow. Spoon, blow, taste, swallow. You take the piece of bread and wipe the edge of the bowl, soaking up the gravy. The bread becomes soft and heavy with the sauce. You eat it. It fills you up. It settles in your stomach like a warm stone, radiating heat through your entire body. This is the Hobbit fullness, a deep, profound sense of satiety. Your eyelids feel heavier with every bite. The energy required to lift the spoon becomes greater. Finally, the bowl is empty. You scrape the bottom one last time. Scrape. You sit back in your chair. You let your hands rest on your stomach. You stare into the fire. The flames are dying down now. They are no longer leaping yellow tongues. They are low, pulsing orange glows over a bed of red coals. You could sleep right here, in the chair. But the bed is waiting. You force yourself to stand up. Just one last task. You take the bowl to the sink. You rinse it quickly. The water is warm. You leave it on the drying rack. It can wait until morning. You walk to the fireplace. You pick up the small iron shovel. You scoop some ash from the side of the hearth and sprinkle it gently over the glowing coals. This is banking the fire. You're tucking the fire in for the night, keeping the heart of the heat alive under a blanket of gray ash, so it will wake easily in the morning. The orange glow fades to gray. The room dims. You walk to the hallway. You check the front door one last time. You try the handle. It is locked. The bolt is solid. You are safe. Nothing can get in. The hill protects you. You walk down the tunnel hallway toward your bedroom. The floorboards creak softly under your socks. Creak, creak. You enter your bedroom. It is dark here, save for the moonlight filtering through the round window. The room is cool. It is always cool underground, perfect for sleeping. You walk to the window. You look out one last time. The sky has changed. The stars are gone. Heavy clouds have rolled in from the mountains. You can't see the moon anymore. And then you hear it. The first drop. Tap, then another. Tap. And then a gentle, steady rhythm. Patter, patter, patter. It has begun to rain. It is a soft, steady Shire rain. It falls on the grass roof above your head. It falls on the leaves of the apple tree. It falls on the thirsty soil of the garden. You smile. You do not have to water the garden tomorrow. The sky is doing the work for you. You turn away from the window. You undress slowly. You take off the heavy corduroy trousers, the linen shirt, the thick wool socks. You leave them on the chair. You put on your nightshirt. It is made of soft, worn flannel. It is loose and airy. You walk to the bed. It is a mountain of comfort. The duvet is thick, filled with goose down. The pillows are stacked high. You pull back the covers. The sheets are white cotton. They look cool. You climb in. Rustle, rustle. You slide your legs down. The sheets are cold against your skin, a delicious shock after the heat of the kitchen. You shiver comfortably. You pull the heavy duvet up to your waist, up to your chest, up to your chin. You wiggle your toes, searching for a warm spot. Your body heat begins to warm the bed. A cocoon of warmth forms around you. You sink your head into the pillow. It is soft, billowing up around your ears, muffling the silence. Now there is only the sound of the rain. Patter, patter, shh. It sounds amplified by the earth around you. It is a drumming, rhythmic lullaby. You close your eyes. You do a final check of your body. Your feet are heavy. They are sinking into the mattress. Your legs are heavy. The muscles that dug the earth are now loose and liquid. Your hands are resting by your sides, fingers curled softly. Your shoulders are dropped away from your ears. Your jaw is unclenched. You breathe in deeply, smelling the lavender on the pillowcase. You breathe out slowly, releasing the last bit of tension. You think of the garden. You can see it in your mind. You see the rain falling on the dark soil. You see the pumpkin drinking the water, swelling slowly in the dark. You see the beanstalks wrapping tighter around the poles. You see the worm burrowing deep, safe and warm. The garden is sleeping. The birds are sleeping. The trees are sleeping. And now you are sleeping. The rain continues. Shh. Steady, safe, home, drift, drift, drift. Good night, love.